Welcome back to the Roll Tide Rewind in 2025. Be sure to check out our video from yesterday talking about Ty Simpson against LSU and Oklahoma. But today we're going to talk about the Alabama run game versus LSU and Oklahoma and how Alabama's run game is still pretty mediocre. But is there green lights? Is Daniel Hill the answer? Is he our starter? Should he be the starter? And then are we going to see any more guys join the fray? Why hasn't it worked out with Jam Miller this year? We'll talk about that over the next 20 or so minutes. But we have Cole joining us today. How are you doing, Cole?
Fantastic, but I feel like my day's about to get worse as we watch some film of the run game. So we'll see. Ask me again in 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, I mean, I was having a good day too, and then I texted you and I said, "Hey, let's fire up the run game film," and then I kind of did it to myself, Cole. I did it to myself. We'll start with the LSU game. Yeah, the run game was bad in this game. I don't know, and there's no other way to say it. In Alabama running backs versus Power 4 opponents this year, this is the stat I have for you, Cole. Alabama running backs versus Power 4 competition. 194 carries for 667 yards and 6 touchdowns. That is 3.44 yards per carry and less than a touchdown a game.
Yeah.
Jam Miller, 3.6 yards per carry. Daniel Hill, 3.7 yards per carry. Kevin Riley, 3.9 yards per carry. It's not good. It's not good. Yeah, I mean, you can't pick one. You guys just throw a dart and hope one hits, right? But let's go. We're going to go over some Jam Miller clubs. I just feel like ever since the Missouri game, I thought he was great against Vandy. I thought he was great against Missouri. I just feel like we're not using him appropriately, but also I feel like he just hasn't been great, just being honest. Let's look at this play right here. This is 4th and 1. We were doing a wildcat with Jam Miller. I'm going to pause here. You have it right there. And you can wait a little bit, and you have a small hole. We're just trying to get a yard. We're not trying to, gain a touchdown this play. You just need a yard. And the hole opens up small, but it's there. You jump right through there. He thinks he's going to get a cut back here, and Weeks is there to blow it up on a 4th and 1. What has been your opinion on Jam Miller this year, Cole, and also just the Alabama run game in general?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of said it in the intro. We've said it a lot. Jam and the run game as a whole has been pretty disappointing. There's no way around it. Now, we're going to be very negative in this video, but one thing really quickly that could be a reasoning for this. Jam did get knocked out late in the Missouri game, and since then it has been ugly. I have not heard anything that he's more injured than they're letting on. I don't know if that's a factor. I'm just saying it could come into play. He could be a little bit more injured than we're seeing. Over the last 4 games since that Missouri game, Jam Miller is averaging 2.08 yards per carry. That's disgusting. His longest run is 8 yards. And this is something we've said about Jam in the past. While there are things we love about Jam, he's very, very physical runner. He's going to get you extra yards a lot of the times. He's never been explosive, and he continues to not be explosive. I mean, his longest run in the last 4 weeks is 8 yards. So the problem for me with Jam, there's a place in this offense for a physical runner that's going to get you the extra couple yards. The problem for me is he hasn't really been doing that this year. When I think back to my favorite Jam Miller runs of him just running over people, they're all from last year or maybe from the Vandy and Missouri games. But the last 4 weeks, I can't remember a single time where I thought he made a really good play, ran somebody over, got more yards than I thought he was going to get. And that's concerning because that's the calling card in his game. And so if he's unable to really do that at a high level, then I think the question is why is he playing, honestly? And that's a little blunt, and maybe that's a little too harsh, but I think we have plenty of other running back options. Maybe they're not great, but over the last 4 weeks, it's been tough to watch, really, in general.
Yeah, and you see on this play here, this toss. In the last 4 weeks, every time Jam Miller has gotten a toss, I feel like the play has lost yards. And that's just – I mean, I'm hate to be negative as well, but I just don't see any explosiveness here.
No.
Like meeting that – like this is kind of what this play – right here, this safety or this linebacker, like meeting him in the hole is what I just like Jam Miller like a few years ago would do. Like I feel like when Jam Miller came in relief 2 years ago when we had Jason McClone and Roydell Williams, I legit thought we were set at running back because I was like, if McClone gets hurt or Roydell gets hurt, our third string is great. Like our third string is better than a lot of other teams' second or first string. Now Jam Miller if he went to Notre Dame, I think he'd be the 4th string running back.
Yeah.
Like it's just like things like that. It's just like there's no explosiveness here. Like I feel like even with like Kevin Riley does this play, I feel like Kevin Riley is more explosive on a play like this. I don't see him making a man miss consistently. Daniel Hill, I don't see him being as explosive. Maybe he runs the player over, not tackling him. Maybe if AK Deer gets the ball, he would do a lot better. We'll talk about AK Deer a little bit later. But I just like the explosiveness is not there. And then same thing on this play. I just don't see it. Is it just me, Cole? Am I not seeing it?
No.
Is it something else?
It's not just you. It was I think a lot of people are seeing it. I was seeing it all over Twitter. If maybe it is a health issue that's the problem, but if that's the case, there's plenty of other running backs. I don't see why we have to keep having Jam run into a brick wall on 10 to 15 plays a game. So I think we need to see some improvement out of Jam, or we need to see a different running back. And I hate it because I love Jam. He's been a big player for us. He was a great running back last year and even at the start of this year. But as of right now, this isn't working. Like you said, he just like on the play before that as well as this one, I think an average running back is able to make one guy miss and get 5 or 6 yards on the first one. On that last one, I think somebody with even a little bit of speed is maybe able to hit that crease and get a big gain. But Jam he doesn't have the athleticism right now. And maybe it's an injury thing. I hope it is because I like Jam. I hope he starts playing better. But as of right now, it's I don't think he's the answer.
And you see it here too. I feel like Proctor doesn't do him any favor here by this block, but it doesn't feel like there's any explosiveness. I feel like if this block is made better by Proctor, I feel like this would springboard Jam to have a better beginning of the play. Because if Proctor makes that block, you just have 19 the safety coming at him. But even if that happens, like I don't see Jam picking up a big gain on this play.
Yeah,
I don't feel like the block doesn't really make any difference.
Agreed 100%. This is on Proctor, I think, but even if Proctor makes a perfect block there, I just have no confidence in Jam to either beat those guys to the edge or run through either of them. So I think maybe he gets another yard or two, but I don't see it being a big play.
Yeah. Now the positive, Daniel Hill. I feel like he's played pretty good the past 2 games. I feel like he's doing so good in these short yardage situations. And I feel like he should have been doing this pretty much all year based on how I'm seeing him play the last 2 to 3 weeks. But you can see it here on 3rd and 1. Just his ability to fall forward is what I find well here. Like some of these plays aren't blocked pretty well, but even on this play right here, he makes a man miss in the backfield. That's, improvement, I would say. Like gets the yard here, makes a good gain. And I love Daniel Hill in the Wildcat. Even when in 1 yard situations, if we need just a yard, I love Daniel Hill taking the direct snap because he will gain 1.5 yards at minimum. And that's usually what we do. You can see this creative play here by Ryan Grubb. I feel like this play is always a good creative play to do. Quarterback walks to the sideline, acting all confused. And you even see it there. Daniel Hill, he knows he's about to get the snap. And then Ty is going to walk. He claps. Daniel Hill gets the ball on 3rd and 1 and gets 1 to 2 yards. And we'll see it on the replay. Run game has not been effective, so you got to be creative with it. And you see these defensive linemen are not ready. He's looking at the sideline, and the ball is snapped. Now, credit to the linebacker here from Oklahoma. He knows what play is about to be called. He knows that he's about to get the ball, and it's too late. Daniel Hill's already done it. The creativity is what I love in the run game, but these short yardage situations, I've been very impressed with Daniel Hill these past 2 weeks because I think he's had like 3 or 4 touchdowns in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
That sounds right. I don't have his stats in front of me right now. I probably should, but no, I think the Wildcat plays are the perfect example of the difference between these 2 running backs to me right now. And it's Jam. He doesn't hit the hole hard. He isn't able to break through the tackle of Weeks, and he stopped for a loss. Whereas with both of these plays with Hill, he's hit pretty early, but he's able to push forward for an extra yard or 2. On the touchdown run, it might not even matter because he's already in the end zone, but he still falls forward. Whereas I feel like Jam on his Wildcat play, he falls backwards. And that's a big difference on 3rd and 1. It's the difference between a first down and not a first down. So I think what we've seen from Daniel Hill the last 3 or 4 weeks is what I honestly expected to see from Jam. I never expected him to be a 4-3 burner down the sidelines, but I did expect him to be able to run over a linebacker in the hole every now and then. And it's what we've seen from Hill, which is, it's good. We've been able to replace that production, but I would like to see Jam be able to do that hopefully in the future.
Yeah, and then also highlighting Daniel Hill on Saturday, 15 carries for 60 yards. Now, a lot of those carries were 1 to 2 yard gains on 3rd and short, 1st and goal, 2nd and goal. He had a 28-yard run in this game that we'll hit in a second. That is the 2nd longest rush by an Alabama player this year. Before, it was 25 yards by Jeremy Bernard. 28 is now held by Daniel Hill. Number 1 is A.K. Deere. We'll talk about him later. I've referenced A.K. Deere now twice, and we haven't even talked about him yet. But Daniel Hill here, like, this is a play that it's a difference between Jam and Daniel Hill. The play is blown up in the backfield. Like, the defender makes a good play here, getting Wilcom Formby to push him backwards to make Daniel Hill have to think about it. But Hill makes a good cut and cuts upfield, and the blocking's pretty okay, and he's able to just drag defenders. That's the difference. Right there, Jam is stopped. Daniel Hill pushes it for 3 to 4 more yards. And I feel like that's the big difference that I noticed with Hill and Jam. And then here's the 28-yard run. Like, I know it sounds odd to showing this play because nothing like too crazy happens, makes a few good cuts, but that's the 2nd best run by an Alabama running back this year is this run right here. And the play is blocked good, but he cuts well. Like, he's moving well, but for a 240-pound guy, he's moving really, really fast. Yeah. But yeah, I thought Daniel Hill was great against Oklahoma. I feel like he should get more carries. Like, the fact that it felt like he had less than 15. I'm surprised it was at 15, but he needs to have a game like against Auburn. He should have 20. I've given the ball 20 times. I don't have any problems with it. If he gains 50 yards on 20 carries, but hey, he has a lot of 1st and goal or 3rd and 1 conversions, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think he has to be the starting running back going forward. I don't know how you can kind of justify it unless it really is an injury issue with Jam that he's going to recover from in the next couple of weeks. I think Daniel Hill has clearly showed that he's a better running back over the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then before we talk about our last topic, which I'm sure y'all know what it is, I think we need to utilize the read option more. I don't know how you feel about this, Cole, but it's something we haven't used a lot. I mean, for people that don't know, that haven't heard on the broadcast yet, but Ty was a dual threat quarterback in high school.
No way.
It's crazy that people don't know this yet, Cole. It's so crazy. But I feel like we're just not using Ty's running ability enough. Like, I am terrified when Ty runs the ball because I feel like he's going to get hit hard enough because I feel like he just doesn't slide. He's like Haynes King with not a Haynes King body. To take all these hits, but I think it's something we're just not utilizing enough because defenses are just not expecting it. And then Ty also, like right there, he can make moves in the middle of the field, turns what could be a 3rd and 5 into a 1st and 10 by making that move right there. So what do you think about Ty using him more in the run game moving forward? Because like even on like this player here, Oklahoma is not expecting him at all to have the ball in this play.
Yeah, I think he could be used a little bit more. I don't want to use it a lot. I don't want him to turn into the dual threat quarterback that we keep hearing over and over on the broadcast that he was coming out of high school. But I think 1 to 2 times a game, a designed tie run wouldn't be the worst thing. I think the more you do it, the kind of less effective it gets, the more defenses kind of prepare for it. I think we saw that kind of with Milroe down the stretch last year as people realized that was kind of the best thing our offense could do was a QB draw. I think it became less and less and less effective as the year went on. What I do want to highlight in this section, though, is this isn't the only way to have basically extensions of the run game, right? And this is something I brought up on the last time we bashed the Alabama run game. I think I'd love to – I complimented Ryan Grubb in the last video. I think he's doing a really good job. But I'd love to see more quick passes, quick screens, even potentially screens to running backs, but I like it better to – guys like Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard, even tight end screens potentially. I think that's a very easy way to take a running game that isn't very effective and make it a little bit more effective because it forces the defense to acknowledge short passes on the outsides. They have to kind of commit to the outsides versus to the inside where we can run the ball up the middle. I think we have the personnel to do it. I mean, Ryan Williams, we saw it on the one big screen play I can remember, the crazy one to the left side where he has the entire offensive line in front of him and he runs all the way down the field. I don't think we necessarily have to do that every time, but he's one of the most explosive players with the ball in his hands in college football. I think that's the perfect kind of guy that you try to get to in space and see what he can make happen. But I don't think that's really been a part of our offense, at least to a high degree. I think that's a way we could kind of improve our running game without expecting our running backs to be better than they are, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. No, that's definitely a good point. We're going to end with it. I thought he was going to play last week. He didn't. I was at the game. I looked at the sideline. He was sitting there he was up close to the sideline, up by the offensive coaches. I thought he was going to sub in once or twice. It never happened. I do not know why A.K. Deer has not gotten action in these games. What it's starting to remind me of last year is there was a point in the year, and I think every Alabama fan had this, or at least most logical Alabama fans had this moment, where you had to tell yourself that Jalen Milroe was not the best option for us to win football games. After the Georgia game, I thought he probably was a Heisman front runner. Like, he had a great game against Georgia. But then he cost us the Tennessee game. Like, I've never seen so many missed throws in a game. Then we win a few games. LSU doesn't spy him. He runs for 4 touchdowns. Everybody thinks it's fixed. Then the Oklahoma game happens, and it happens again. We lose because we cannot throw the football. And we kept Milroe in despite probably having a better quarterback on the bench that could have won us games, Ty Simpson. I feel like the running back position is what the quarterback position was last year. We have a guy. Now, I have no idea if A.K. Deer's better than these guys, I guess, but I can only just watch the games, watch the film. But he just is so much more explosive. Like, Jam Miller's not making this play. He's just not. Daniel Hill might run the safety over and might make a good play. This is the most explosive running back I've seen Alabama have on a play this season, is this play right here. And this is the only really good film we have of A.K. Deer because this is the only game he got rushing attempts in. But I feel like we're leaving our best option not playing. And it's starting to remind me a lot of the quarterback position last year. I don't know how you feel about it, Cole, but I'm starting to feel that way about this.
Yeah, I can definitely see the similarities there. I don't know that I'm willing to go as far as to say that A.K. Deer is, or even probably is, our best running back. I don't know that I necessarily believe that. So to me, it's not the worst thing in the world that he's not our starter right now. What to me is coaching malpractice is that we haven't seen him at all. I don't understand, with the lack of explosiveness that we've talked about so much in this run game, how you don't scheme up 5 touches a game for A.K. Deer. Maybe he's just the worst pass protecting back in the history of the world. Okay, fine. Then don't use him to pass protect. You could put him in the slot if you need to. I don't understand why he's not playing at all. I get if we're worried about pass protection, you're worried about potentially fumbles. I don't know what the issue is. I can see reasons why you would leave a true freshman running back on the bench as opposed to some options that you feel decent about. But you see it in this one play. He's more explosive than anybody else at running back on the roster. And we've seen all of them. So I don't know why we haven't seen him even in a limited spell so far this year since the Louisiana Monroe game.
Yeah, and we'll see him this weekend against Eastern Illinois. I'm confident in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and like the thing about the pass protection that you mentioned, like a lot of people are saying that. They're like, well, A.K. Deer's not playing because we need the running backs to pass protect. Okay, what does it matter? Ty's fumbled 5 games in a row because he's been sacked.
Yeah.
And on some of those, like the running backs are missing the blocks. Like they're getting steamrolled.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, like I get it. Pass protection is very important for running back. This thing is like, I'm not like overstating that. Like Derrick Henry, it took him a while to figure out how to pass block because he was a great running back. But Nick Saban said, if you're going to play, you have to be able to block. And like back then, when Derrick Henry was a freshman, we had, TJ Yeldon and Kenyon Drake as our running backs. We don't have TJ Yeldon and Kenyon Drake as our running backs. If we did, we'd be much better off. But we don't have like elite running back right now. So like you were saying, Cole, it just feels like, why isn't like, at least one play been schemed up for him, like a jet sweep from the slot or like bring him in to run the ball. And if you feel like he doesn't pass protect well, then okay, then throw Jam Miller back there on a 3rd and 7 and have him pass block. Like, that's just my opinion on it. I feel like he could be used and he's not being used. I'm not going to compare this to like the Caleb Cunningham situation last year, because Caleb Cunningham played every single – Caleb Odom, not Caleb Cunningham. Caleb Cunningham is at Ole Miss like Caleb Odom is, but Odom is the guy I'm talking about. Caleb Odom played every game last year, and he just – maybe Milroe just never threw the ball to him, but he played in every game last year, whereas AK Deer is not.
Yeah. And I think what you're alluding to there, and what also needs to be a part of this factor, is the fact that the transfer portal and NIL are such a big deal now. If there's a good chance a guy like AK Deer that was a 5-star coming out of high school that's a really, really talented guy is like, well, why am I going to stay at Alabama where I'm just going to sit the bench? Why not explore my options and see if there's somewhere else I can go? So I think that's definitely got to be part of the conversation is if you don't play him, there's a chance you might lose him.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. We're heading into the Eastern Illinois week. I expect to see the run game to hopefully do pretty good against Eastern Illinois. If not, then we have lots of issues. More issues than I thought. I may have if we have issues running the ball, I may have to do an emergency Roll Tide Rewind episode on the Alabama run game. But until then, I see Alabama getting a good win this week. And then we'll go into the Auburn game where we'll see. I guess I would hopefully not see a struggle against the Auburn defense, but Auburn's defense is probably one of the best defenses Alabama will play all year. And I'm looking forward to see how they run the ball effectively on Auburn's defense. But until then, I hope everyone has a great rest of their week, and Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.